Hi, I'm Katie. The career I chose to do was marriage and family therapy. And I chose to work for, or choose, hypothetically, for LDS Family Services. And the working environment, LDS Family Services is a really good environment. They usually open around like 8 or 9 o'clock. They close around 5 o'clock, but they have very flexible hours, and most marriage and family therapists do have flexible hours, and they're very family friendly, which is something that obviously, as hopefully a future mother, that I really like. Some typical stressors as a marriage and family therapist is obviously dealing with clients and not trying to take their problems back home with you, because that can be emotionally draining, and can also be emotionally draining for your family or for your roommates, whoever you may live with. Another stressor is paperwork. Paperwork can obviously be a big thing with insurance and billing, especially if you own your own business. Just trying to figure out everything with all of the bills and finding a place and purchasing equipment and the documentation and legalness of everything, and so that can also be a stressor. When I was looking up benefits for especially LDS Family Services, I wasn't able to find any for marriage and family therapists. I'm sure that they have health and insurance benefits, but I just wasn't able to find any information on that. Some common jobs or tasks, as you can imagine, is just to see families. It could be couples, families, or just individuals, in helping them. And usually if you're working with a family, you might meet one-on-one for a little bit to kind of get to know everyone's side of the story and then bring them all in. And the same thing with couples. It just depends on the type of therapist that you would want to be in. Usually marriage and family sessions usually are about 12 sessions. It just depends on the family or the couple or the individual and what they're looking for, and just treating those mental and emotional disorders. I wouldn't be able to give any medication or anything because I'm not a psychiatrist, but I would be able to treat them and tell them, okay, this is something you have, and here are some goals that we can set to work through them. The education requirements for marriage and family therapists. If for your undergraduate, you can really go into a lot of different things. You can do marriage and family studies, psychology, social work, psychiatry, even nursing. Those are some typical ones. Then you want to get your master's in marriage and family therapy. And usually, that's usually where a lot of professionals will stop, is after their master's. But you can get your PhD. The pay grade, from what I could tell, from what I've talked to with some of the professors here at BYU Idaho, their pay grade isn't a huge difference. The PhD normally just gives you a wider range of things that you can do besides just marriage and family therapy. If you go into grad school, you're going to want to go, something you do want to do is get into an accredited program. And CACREP, it's CACREP.com, has a bunch of, or a list of all of their programs that they have at different schools, and it's all over the country. And so that way, when you get into an accredited program, after you graduate, you only have to do about a year of supervised clinical study, because during your graduate program, you've done already about 2 years to a year's worth of supervised study or supervised counseling, which is pretty awesome. Also, if you want to be licensed at a national level, you would have to take the National Counselor Examination for licensure and certification as well. And when you're doing your supervised counseling, when you're not graduated, when you are graduated, you still get paid for it. The pay grade is less, but you still get paid for that, and I didn't know that, and so that was pretty interesting. The starting salary range, I got this off of the, the Bureau of Labor Statistics that the government puts out. And normally starting salary, it depends on the state that you live in, but starting salary ranges or on average is about $25,000, and experienced salary range is about $75,000. And just some awesome career information that gets me excited about marriage and family therapy is that it's a growing career. It's not something that's dying out. People are seeing the need for it. Let's see. It was rated in the top 50 best careers, and according to the Labor Department, the employment of marriage and family therapy is expected to rise 14% from 2008 to 2018. And so it's a growing career, and people obviously need it. And that's my presentation.